All right, folks, good morning. It is August 11th. It is a Wednesday, and there's something to talk about Canucks related, and this just sort of broke this morning. Elias Pettersson did an interview with Uffe. I'm sorry, I don't speak Swedish, but his name is Uffe Bodin. Bodin. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. He is a editor-in-chief for a Swedish hockey website, newspaper, something like that. Basically, a Swedish reporter had a one-on-one interview with Elias Pettersson, and he went through the trouble of translating two snippets to English for us to hear, and it has sort of the Twitter sphere in a bit of a buzz right now. So I'm going to read these quotes, and then we're going to talk about them. The first one, the question was about how the negotiations are going, and he said, "quote My agents do all the talking with the Canucks in brackets there, and then they inform me about what's going on. Right now, we're not in agreement, but I'm not worried that we're not going to solve it eventually. Both parties need to be happy in order to find a solution. I'm not worried about that." There's nothing here in this first quote. Basically, he's saying, "Yep, my agents are talking with the team. They're telling me what's going on. They don't have a deal worked out yet. It's fine. I'm not worried." And that's, what everyone, the boat where everyone sort of should be in. The second part of the quote is where lots of people are sort of in a big frenzy about. Basically, he was asked about what kind of deal he'd prefer. And of course, the translation's sort of rough, but, with the question side, but the answer is pretty clear. Quote, "I want to stay there, Vancouver, for now, but I also want to play for a team that's winning and has the chance to go far into the playoffs every year. I feel like we've got a chance to do that next year. If we have that chance when my next deal expires, I don't know. I just want to play where there's a chance of winning." So this is the interesting part of the quote, and I'm going to bring it up on screen as well, which I probably should have done while I was reading it, but so he says the first part of this quote, and I'm honestly, I'm going to cut out the top half because the bottom half is all that really matters. Let's just make this big for you guys so you can see it. So let's start with the first sentence. "I want to stay there now." So he wants to be in Vancouver for this season, and he can't really say much else, right? He's a restricted free agent. He doesn't have rights to ask to go anywhere. Like, he can ask to go anywhere else, but he's not going to say, "I don't want to be in Vancouver anymore." He's just not going to say that. He says, then, "I also want to play for a team that's winning and has the chance to go far into the playoffs every year." Now, lots of people see this and they're saying, well, there are some people on Twitter and they're like, "Well, why don't you go out there and help the team win?" And look, you think the kid's not trying? It's a team sport here, guys. You can put the best people in the world. I mean, look over in Edmonton, look at Connor McDavid. He's the best player in the world, and they can't do anything because he's not on a team that has been built to allow him to win. So I think Pettersson might be looking at guys like Connor McDavid and saying, wow, I can't be good enough to carry a team by myself. I need to be on a team that is built well. And what he's saying is something that the Canucks fans should be happy about. He's saying, I want to play for a winning team. You want that in a player. You want a player who wants to go and he wants to win every night. He wants to go out there and make a difference. And it also kind of drives the spikes into Jim Benning and says, hey, I'm only here if I'm on a team that can win, because I'm a good enough player that I can go anywhere and I can be a part of a winning team. But if you're not going to build that winning team here, then I don't want to be here. And I respect the hell out of that, to be honest. So the next part of the quote is, "I feel like we've got a chance to do that next year." And this sort of turns the gears in my head. Did he say something to Jim Benning? Did the players of the team say, "Hey, we're sick of losing. Go out there and get us better pieces that can help us win"? Especially when you guys got guys like Bo Horvat coming up close to the end of a contract, right? He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And all these guys like that, where they're saying, look, if they just keep losing and they start associating Vancouver with losing, they might not want to be here forever. So he says, "I feel like we've got a chance to do that next year. If we have that chance when my next deal expires, I don't know. I just want to play where there's a chance of winning." So Jim Benning has gone out and he's gotten pieces. Connor Garland, Ekman Larson, Jason Dickinson, all these guys to help the team win this year. And the thing is, 1 year is not good enough. For Jim Benning's job, maybe 1 year is good enough. But for guys like Elias Pettersson, they want to be year in, year out contenders in the NHL. And I respect that decision, because if I was in the NHL, look, I'm going to get paid regardless. I'm going to play in at least an interesting city, right? Vancouver might be super nice and everyone's like, oh, but it's the nicest city in North America. That's not enough for some people, right? These people have worked for the last 20 plus years to make the NHL. They want to win. They want to win a Stanley Cup. They want to at least play playoff hockey. So for Elias Pettersson to come up and basically say, look, if we're not a playoff team, then I might not want to be here anymore. I don't hate on him for saying that. It makes sense. I wouldn't want to play on a bad team either. Now this sort of also bleeds into contract situation, right? And it goes into the whole bridge deal or long-term deal conversation. A quote like this might make you think that Elias Pettersson might want a shorter term deal because he wants the ability to get out if the team isn't good, right? Have that ability. If I'm the Canucks and I see this, I'm starting to think maybe we should just lock this guy up for longer, right? Give him 7-8 years, because if you give him a bridge deal, 3 years, let's say, and then he comes back and he says, yeah, I just want a 1-year deal to get out of RFA because the team's not winning, the team's not good, and I want to go somewhere where I have a chance to win. So if I'm the Canucks, I'm thinking, well, maybe this is a good opportunity. And I'm sure Pettersson and his agents have voiced this to the Canucks. Like, I'm sure this isn't like, the Canucks probably aren't seeing this and thinking like, whoa, he wants out. This is crazy. They've probably talked to him and he's probably voiced like, yeah, I want to play for a winning team. Build me a winning team, which he has every right to say. And I'm sure that's basically what has happened over this offseason with the Canucks going out, making these splashy moves to get guys like Connor Garland to put together a winning team for this year. So if I'm the Canucks, I'm probably trying to get something long-term done just so you have them locked in, you have control. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on this. I don't think anyone should be really freaking out. And lots of people are just are so quick to hit the panic button. A guy that wants to win is a good thing. You want everyone to want to win. Losing isn't good enough, and losing has sort of been the scenario for the last few years, barring the bubble for this team for a long time. And if I'm Elias Pettersson, all you've known is that 1 year of bubble, and then you knew this year of just an absolutely painful season, and the seasons before that weren't that great either. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you panicking? Are you worried that he might want out? Are you do you respect him coming out and saying something like this? Do you think it's a bad PR move to come out and say something like this? Let me know all that in the comments below. Leave a like, hit subscribe, do all that good stuff. We've got videos coming up for you all the time. And of course, Canucks After Dark goes tonight at 10 p.m. You can find that linked in the description. It is a weekly video show that I do live Wednesdays at 10 p.m. with Canuck Clay. You can find it linked below. And of course, we'll talk about this for a good chunk of that as well. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.